The first look at the costumes for Avengers. Doomsday is here, and it's a wild ride. While some heroes are getting mind-blowing, comic-accurate upgrades that fans have been dreaming of, it looks like Marvel is making some of your other favorites show up to the end of the world in last year's outfits. So, who gets the best new gear, and who's getting embarrassingly recycled? Let's get into it. After principal photography wrapped on Avengers Doomsday, the floodgates finally opened. A piece of crew merch, reportedly a tote bag, has surfaced online, showing off a massive piece of promo art with almost 30 characters. While some of these designs confirm long-standing rumors, others are a genuine shock. This isn't just concept art. This looks like the final lineup. We're going hero by hero, starting with the biggest winners of this reveal, and trust me, you'll want to stick around for the losers. For years, fans have begged for one thing from the live-action X-Men: ditch the black leather and give us the classic comics. Well, according to this leaked art, Marvel is finally delivering in a way that feels like a massive thank you to the fans. James Marsden's Cyclops. For the first time ever in live action, Scott Summers is reportedly getting his iconic Jim Lee-inspired suit from the early 90s. We're talking the vibrant blue bodysuit, the bright yellow trunks and harness, and that legendary visor. It's the design that defined the character for a generation in X-Men, the animated series, and seeing it finally realized is huge. This isn't just a suit, it's a statement. It positions Cyclops not as a moody second-in-command, but as the field leader he was always meant to be. After being sidelined for years, this suit screams that Cyclops is finally taking center stage, and he's not alone. The art reveals a full-blown X-Men reunion with a complete style overhaul. Reports indicate that Alan Cummings' Nightcrawler is back, and his design in the artwork is pure classic comics. We also see Kelsey Grammer's Beast, who looks to be rocking his 90s comic look, complete with blue fur and trunks. Rebecca Romine's Mystique is also there, and in a major welcome change from the Fox films, she's actually wearing her iconic white dress and skull belt from the comics. Even the long-awaited Channing Tatum Gambit, a character we've waited ages to see, is shown in his signature trench coat and fuchsia chestplate. This commitment to comic accuracy across the mutant roster is the biggest win from this leak. It's Marvel looking at 25 years of movie history and saying, we can do better. Now for the big bads. It has been confirmed that Robert Downey Jr. is returning to the MCU as the one and only Dr. Doom. Promo art from a Disney Expo already gave us a tease, but this new image solidifies his look, and it is glorious. The design appears incredibly faithful to the comics, featuring his intimidating metal mask, a flowing green cloak with ornate clasps, and what looks like chainmail underneath. This isn't a nanotech rehash or an evil Iron Man. This is classic, medieval-inspired Latvian royalty. The artists seem to have perfectly captured that blend of ancient majesty and futuristic menace that defines Victor Von Doom. However, the same can't be said for the Master of Magnetism. The art shows Ian McKellen's Magneto, but his costume has been a sore spot for fans. Instead of his iconic red and purple suit with a dramatic cape, the design seems to be a much more muted, red-toned jacket. While he has his helmet, the overall look feels far less grand and theatrical than his comic counterpart, especially when his X-Men teammates are getting such vibrant, page-perfect upgrades. We're about to get into the heroes getting stuck with recycled gear, but before we do, if you're digging this breakdown of the Doomsday suits, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We'll be covering every trailer and leak right here, so you won't want to miss a thing. The X-Men aren't the only ones with new threads. The leaders of Wakanda and Atlantis are also sporting some key upgrades. The art shows that Shuri and M'Baku both have new looks. While Shuri's Black Panther suit seems to be an evolution of her Wakanda Forever design, M'Baku's is a fresh and welcome update. Tenoch Huerta's Namor also appears to have a new costume. He's seen in a collared black and blue outfit that seems heavily inspired by his more modern comic book bodysuits, moving away from his purely historical Talocano look. This could signal his deeper involvement in the surface world's conflicts. And now for the part of the breakdown that's a bit less exciting. For every incredible, comic-accurate upgrade, there seems to be a major hero sent into battle with hand-me-downs. Let's start with Thor. According to the art, Chris Hemsworth is sporting a look that is almost identical to his Infinity War appearance, with a sleeveless black suit and his shorter haircut. It was a great look then, but seeing it again for a multiversal epic feels like a letdown. After the wild visuals of Love and Thunder, this feels like a retreat to something safe instead of a bold new step. It's a similar story for Anthony Mackie's Captain America and Paul Rudd's Ant-Man. Their suits and the artwork look almost exactly like what we've seen in their most recent projects. For a movie this big, you expect a new suit. It's practically tradition. It shows character growth, and let's be real, it helps sell toys. Seeing them in recycled gear just feels visually static. This trend apparently extends to the entire Thunderbolts team. The art shows Yelena Belova, Bucky Barnes, US Agent, Red Guardian, and Ghost in the exact same outfits from their own film's post-credits scene. While it makes sense for continuity, it adds to the feeling that a huge chunk of the cast isn't getting that event movie glow-up. Even the Fantastic Four seem to be getting a minimal update. The art shows Reed, Sue, and Johnny wearing new jackets over their suits, with Reed in a lab coat. It's a very practical, almost underwhelming look for Marvel's first family as they face their greatest foe. So why is this happening? The most likely theory is budget. Designing and creating multiple versions of a brand new superhero suit costs millions. By reusing existing digital assets, the studio can pour more money into the characters who absolutely needed to make a killer first impression, like the X-Men and Doctor Doom. It's a logical move, but it still stings to see some of the franchise's heaviest hitters show up to a Doomsday event in last season's armor. So there you have it. This first big look at the Avengers. Doomsday costumes shows two very different approaches. On one hand, we have the spectacular, fan-pleasing dream come true for the X-Men, a moment over 2 decades in the making. And we have a Doctor Doom who looks like he was ripped right off a Jack Kirby panel. On the other hand, a huge portion of the established MCU heroes, including powerhouses like Thor and Captain America, seem to be stuck with recycled gear. It feels like a calculated move to focus the wow factor on the new arrivals, while leaning on the familiar for the returning cast. While it makes sense from a production standpoint, it creates a weird visual where some heroes feel fresh and exciting, and others feel like they just grabbed whatever was in their closet. But what do you think? Which new suit is your absolute favorite? Are you as hyped for the Jim Lee Cyclops as we are? And which hero do you think got the rawest deal with a recycled costume? Let us know in the comments below.